Welcome to the first episode of The Oath and the Journey, the official podcast series of JNNC DMIHER, where wisdom meets inspiration. I'm Khushi Gupta, a third year medical student at Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, and in this series, we sit down with the visionaries and leaders of our university to explore their journey, their insight, and their vision for the future of healthcare. Whether you are a student in a white coat, a budding researcher, or simply curious about the people shaping modern medicine, this podcast is your front row seat to conversations that matter. So put on your headphones and join us to discover the stories behind the stethoscope. And to kick off this first episode today, we have a very special guest, someone who's deeply connected and who keeps the academic and administrative engine running smoothly behind the scenes. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Shweta Kale Pisulkar ma'am to this podcast series. While many of you might already know her as Registrar of DMIHER, she is also alumni of BDS 2000 batch and MDS 2009 batch from our university, with years of experience in academic administration from being the faculty to professor and then the dean academics at our university to having many national and international publications to her credit. She brings clarity, structure, and heart to the university's most essential academic and administrative processes. It's our immense pleasure and privilege to have her with us today. A very warm welcome and thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time from your busy schedule. We are truly delighted to have you with us today.
Thank you.
So without
So
further
am I.
so without further ado, let's dive right into the first episode of this podcast series. Before we get into the serious stuff, I would like to know you a bit better behind the registrar desk. So that one question or the one thing that students might not generally know about you.
So yeah, people and students think I usually sit only in the offices, but behind the offices when I go back, I you can see me in my gardens and my kitchen. I love gardening, I love cooking, but there's an occupational hazard to it. My cakes and my roses are measured with rubrics.
Wow, who would have thought that? I'm sure the students are smiling behind the camera knowing this. So while
You can come and taste them.
I would really
I
love
hope
that.
with not a rubric, you would love it.
I would truly love that. Okay, so while we are talking about students, what is the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the word student?
When I hear the word student, yes, now they are our future colleagues, caffeine enthusiasts,
Truly.
and they take every day as it comes, very unpredictable, and that's the best part of it.
Amazing. Well, who knew? There is an amazing human side to the one we only knew as a registrar. That really highlights the kind of impact you can have as a registrar beyond the paperwork and the policies. And I'm sure working with students must come its fair share of memorable moments. And we all know that students can be unpredictably funny in under pressure. Yes, I'm talking about the dreadly Viva scenes. So, what's the funniest or most unexpected answer a student has ever given you in Viva, or what's most funniest complaint or doubt a student has asked you over the years?
So, can I take it me as a student?
Of
What
course, of
one
course.
funny thing which happened,
Yes,
although
that
it was
would be
funny and scary, it was like in third years when I used to pursue my third year here in the same college. So we used to go to the civil hospitals for examining the patients for medicine case histories. So Shaurya sir used to be our teacher in charge. So we went, our batch, we went in the morning and we took the case history. It was the patient of liver cirrhosis, and evening there was a presentation which we had to do in front of sir. So sir was there along with us, and the case history started. So sir was like asking us the entire case history, starting from the chief complaint to history of present illness and everything. And when everything was over, sir is like, what about the BP, pulse and temperature of the patient? तो लाइक सर वो तो मतलब apparently patient है तो हमने सोचा वो बाद में कर लेंगे. मैंने उसके बगैर तुमने पेशेंट को, if you are doing this, even God is not going to forgive you. Forget me. So he was like, this is very much of optimism, not recording the vitals of the patient, and then you are presenting the entire case history up to provisional diagnosis. How do I know the patient is still alive?
Oh my god, that's actually kind of reassuring to us that even our professors, faculties make such kind of mistakes. And I'm sure this will
grave mistakes. I still remember, Bhagwan bhi tumko maaf nahi karega. The word quote
I
unquote.
can
Shaurya
only
sir.
see the tagline of this podcast. Bhagwan bhi tumko maaf nahi karega. And I'm sure even Shaurya sir will go down a memory lane after hearing
Yeah.
this. Okay. I'm very sure you'll never forget that moment, and I can't even imagine how tough it might have been for you to keep a straight face
Yeah.
during that time.
Very, very, very tough.
Okay, so now to step away from medicine for a moment, let's imagine you in a parallel universe. Like from away from the medical field, what would be you doing if you weren't in medicine right now?
Yeah, I love to take breaks. So probably I would have been doing a talk show where here you're not allowed to take breaks. There I would have taken more ad breaks.
I guess we have the next interview coming. Okay, none of us saw that coming for sure, and I can totally imagine you in that role. And likewise, if you are doing so great over here, I'm sure you would be amazing over there too.
So nice of you.
Now, well, now comes a question that every medical student gets asked every once in a while in their medical life, or that one question that lingers in their mind since the first year itself, choosing a specialty. So, what inspired you to choose your specialty?
So yeah, to be very true, I could not get into medicine in my first need. So of course that was one thing, but I always want to do. Meaning dentistry was always there on my cards. So choosing prosthodontics, yes, was one of the decision which I made by choice. I waited 1 year for getting my MDS in prosthodontics because it is not only just restoring the teeth of the patient or restoring the smile of the patient. It's like the entire craniofacial, maxillofacial component. You have one face, one life, and it has to always have a smile on it. And I'm so proud that I'm able to restore that smile. More into maxillofacial processes, we have done lot many things beyond processes, craniofacial processes, maxillofacial allied processes. So yes, that was indeed my passion.
So great to hear it from someone who has such a beautiful smile herself, and we always see her smiling. You know, we always talk about how ma'am is the one person on stage that always has that warm smile on her, that way that feels so comforting, welcoming to the new students.
That must be some defect on my face.
That's actually so nice because everybody is serious and then there's ma'am, always with a warm smile.
So sweet of you.
Now that we're talking about specialities and subjects, there's always some myths and misconceptions that are floating around. So, what's one misconception that students generally have about your subject?
See, like I told you, prosthodontics is not just limited to restoring a smile or a missing teeth or something like that. It's the entire craniofacial component. Like here at our university, we have lots of varied clinical materials, and we have done so many cases. We do craniotomies where we rehabilitate the lost cranial bones, ear processes, nose processes. So when the patient comes without a nose, can you imagine? And then we restore it, giving it a lifelike appearance.
That would be
So the
nice.
entire scope of it is, its sky is the limit. You can go on and on. And we have all the provisos over here. So that is one misconception, meaning you cannot say it's a misconception. But yeah, there's a broader scope where definitely I said you one face, one life, and you have to have a smile every day.
Wow, that's legit something that will stay with us, I guess, because in a medicine is not just passion, I guess. It's more about the science. And as ma'am said, it's one face, one life, and we need to have that smile on our face always. That's really inspiring and a personal experience, which I guess will inspire all the students who might be confused about taking a specialty or what to do further in their higher studies. After hearing such insightful and informative thoughts, I can't help myself but ask, what if you had a magic wand and the power to change one thing in the MBBS curriculum? So, what would that one thing be?
Yeah, I always feel, I always live that. So, along with antibiotics and medicine, you should have humanity with humor. So, definitely, I would like to incorporate some humor, some humanity in your entire way of treating a patient would definitely heal the patient faster and better.
I guess that truly explains the doctor-patient relationship. And if that actually happens,
It
if
will,
the curriculum
it shall.
community listens to this podcast one day, it would be amazing. And I guess it will make the curriculum a lot more fun for us too. Thank you so much for a new.
So you can do it yourself. Why wait for that change to come? You just need
Obviously.
to add a human touch and little bit humor
I
so
guess.
that you connect the patient more.
I guess all the students listening to this podcast, this is a sign. We need to go on to this. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a new perspective. I don't think anyone would have thought of this. Humor and science combined. Such a new perspective. Now, coming to the clinical side of medicine, you have likely encountered many and many patients throughout your life. So, can you share one clinical case that completely changed how you see medicine? It could
Yeah,
be
there are many, but this was one child who actually had a defect, meaning she was intubated for some other reason when she was a child, and during the intubation, it was her this thing nasal defect went on worsening, and as a child it was nothing, but when she was taking coming up to her puberty, this entire nose was a defect. So imagine a mid facial region and nose, eyes, your lips, your teeth being the most prominent part of it. So slowly this patient started getting aloof. She started becoming more depressed. She stopped going to school. She even stopped talking to her own very close relatives, and she somehow came to our hospital again for some another treatment, and then she was referred from the ENT department to us, because during the ward round she used to disappear when the doctors used to come for round. And then one very good, maybe some so special students like you tried to initiate a discussion with her, and they said that yeah, you can just visit the prosto department, they make some artificial prosthesis that would help. And we did it for her. We used some retentive measures, and we made a wonderful nasal prosthesis for her, which was flawlessly matching to her entire skin tone. And of course, it was aesthetic rehabilitation that had nothing to enhance the function, but the kind of tears in her eyes and the confidence she used to every day after, even after the treatment, even now she comes with flaunting her processes and going to school, and now she is one of the brightest students in the school as well.
Oh my
So
God.
there are many such cases. We did a cranioplasty for a young patient who used to lame. She used to her cognizance was affected. So that after the processes, she was like was evolved. She evolved like anything. So that there are some cases which have etched in the memory of my mind. So I want my students to do more such kind of things.
Oh my God, that's so sweet, and I'm actually inspired myself right now. I'm sure the viewers must be too. Actually, a conversation like this is something that reveals the human side of medicine, that reveals why we take up this path of medicine and why it is much more different from just the academics or just the education, or it's something more personal to have. It has something more personal to it. It's reflection like these that help doctors like you, like me, and the ones listening to this podcast see the bigger picture of why this profession is considered next to God. Now, shifting this conversation from medicine to something lighter, you are someone who has worn many hats as a doctor, as a professor, as an administrative post. So, how does it feel to be part of administration in our university? And if you want to define it in simple words, does it differ from being medical practitioner or a lecturer?
Oh, it differs a lot. It has really made me see so many faces of myself that yes, I can do this also. Yeah, being a administrator instead of a clinician, it's just when you're a clinician, you're holding instruments and treating patients. Here you're holding the systems for the entire university and all its stakeholders together. So it's more like a rehabilitation. You use proper system, you set them, and ultimately all your stakeholders are the beneficiaries of it. So that's how I correlate administration with clinical practice and academics.
Oh my God, that's so amazing how you handle all of this all together. Really commendable, ma'am. That the way you have rehabilitated yourself, shifting from the professor to lecturer, the faculty, and now also the dean academics, and now into the administrative side. And it actually just also defines how life can take different paths. And if you have the courage and if you have the calling, you can excel in it just like ma'am did. And yeah, I guess that tells us that life is open to all the opportunities. You should be open to all the opportunities that life throws on you. And who might know, that must be your calling one day.
Yeah, that is very important because opportunities they do come to everybody, but you have to grab it at the right time. And here you have a wonderful team, you have wonderful mentors. So it's the transition was flawless and it's we are loving it.
Wow, so amazing. I'm truly like, I want to try a lot of more things too. I want to push myself too now.
Sure, sure. You will not imagine how it feels like home, you know. I usually tell everybody that my parents brought me here in 2000 as a student and never took me back. That is how I stayed here like a fossil in this university. So now people, Larissa usually calls me a fossil.
Well, a fossil we truly treasure for sure. Okay, so ma'am, you are someone who has worked closely with so many batches over the years. You have probably seen patterns in students behaving under pressure. So, which brings me to the question: what is the most common mistake students make under pressure?
Um, yeah. Usually, the students, when they are under pressure, they usually work for grades just to pass. So, there the thin line where the learner inside the student, it uh, it more is inclined towards getting uh, meaning passing the subject rather than learning the subject is one of the vulnerable area I find. And usually taking the examiner in a very lighter mode, that also affects it because the examiner has its own radar which you cannot complete in the last night moment of
Sure.
study. So you should be lifelong learners and you should be more inclined towards gaining competencies rather than just rote learning and mugging up.
Well, that truly highlights
Yeah.
how important learning more than getting passing marks or just rote learning a subject is. Because I guess this is the profession we really need to apply that learning
Yeah.
and save a life one day.
Yeah.
So that is why I guess it's not just about exams or just about attending and maintaining attendance in the clinical posting, but it is much more beyond that. It's time we turn back a clock for a moment and ask ma'am, if you were a student in today's time, what would you do differently than we usually do?
Oh, so there's a huge endless list. You know, I every day sleep back to my bed thinking that God, give my childhood back. I want to be a student again. I really love the kind of life you people now as a student because I have been running through the same corridors where I used to get late for classes and used to be a student. Yeah, everything like if there's a miracle to happen, let God make me a student once again, I'll join you. I
We'll be
would
so
probably be on
happy.
that part. I would love to be on that chair.
Oh my god, that would be so lovely actually. I'm seeing we are having a new interviewer coming soon, very soon.
So after I finish my registrarship tenure, I hope I have a good job
We are
waiting.
we're so delighted to have you, ma'am.
So we'll have a reverse podcast.
For sure. I need to get myself prepared
Yeah.
already. But is there something that you might do differently that the students do today? Like something that you will change in the way the students
Yeah.
are?
I would, yeah, definitely one important thing I would advise, and I would see myself also to uh, take life as it comes, not to get stressed too much. So that is one thing. What I feel, the students nowadays get stressed too much. They overthink. They do not come life or things as they take as they come. So that particular component, definitely I always keep on thinking. When I see my son also, he's also similar to your age. So yeah, of course, that one stress, the capacity to the Young's modulus, more elastic limit.
That's
Sure.
again a very new perspective, ma'am.
That should be more.
I'm sure that's something we all truly can reflect on. Thank you for sharing that perspective, ma'am. And now comes the question that comes in the mind of every medical student once in the journey, or maybe twice, or maybe thrice, while juggling through the new world we are introduced to. How should students balance personal life with the medical stress they are introduced to?
So yeah, sleep more, panic less. So, and remember that Google can't replace your Grey's Anatomy. And you should always take caffeine breaks. I have it with me. So just panic less, sleep more, be calm.
That's how small changes can make a big impact, actually. Now, it's time for the golden ticket of this podcast. We all know residency and higher studies are big milestone in a medical student's life. So, what's the one golden tip for students who want to pursue residency or higher studies?
Yeah, so one thing in this, I would like to give my view that medicine should be, you have to be very wise enough to choose your field of super specialty. See, it's not a carpool because your friend is choosing this profession and taking this branch. That is a very vulnerable kind of a journey. It's not a carpool, it's your lifetime journey. So be wise enough, very thoughtful enough, because this is the super specialty which you're going to choose is going to be your lifelong profession. So that is one advice.
Thank you for sharing that, ma'am. It's kind of motivation students will really need during the tough times when there is all chaos in their minds
Yeah.
to decide what super specialty to go to, how to choose one. So that's your way to help. That's a golden ticket, I guess. Now, moving on to the stories from your life that will inspire and connect people from all ages that will be watching this podcast. Here's the first question that might take you down the memory lane. Who was your favorite teacher during your medical life and why?
Yeah, so when you are studying and when you are like mugging, that time of course is that was the mindset. Few dry subjects. So the mentors who have made us that particular subject get imbibed in my mind, who made us learn all the subject like stories. So that those are the mentors, those are the teachers who created more interest in this and helped us move further. So that even we as a teacher, when I learned from them that you have to make your subject interesting although it is very dry, and if you tell them as stories, definitely students would love it and remember it.
I'm sure many students might remember you as that mentor today.
Yeah, was one time a best teacher. Now the worst one
You
because
were the best of
totally.
both worlds now.
Yeah, but there this is my constant piece in my this thing that I'm not able to give much time. But yeah, I do grab some time and go and take lectures. I
I'm
love
sure
it.
that would be impactful too. And I guess that is how one teacher makes an impact in a student's life that stays with them throughout their journey.
Yeah, once a teacher, always a teacher.
Yes, truly. I'm already learning so much from you, though you are saying you are not connected to teaching that much, but I've already learned so much, and I'm sure the viewers have too. Looking back, there's often one moment that stands out as a plot twist in everyone's life. So it's something that makes the movie go in a new direction, and in life, the same happens. So, what was that one turning point in your career or in your life that changed everything?
Yeah, well, there again, it's a very difficult question, but for me, becoming a professor and now key official administrator into the same corridor, into the same building when where you were a learner, I stuck on to it, and that was really a path breaker, which really gave me so many avenues so that I could prove myself today. This opportunity, definitely, I don't think so. If would if I would have moved out, I would have been a different person, although I don't know what, but this I'm very happy with what I am today. And yeah, I stuck on to it. I lived back in my alma mater, and here I'm serving for it is one of the path breaking
Plot twist in your life.
plot twisting. Otherwise, there's no twist in my life. That's the major twist.
I'm so glad you took that twist. So the university must be so glad they got a gem.
Yeah, now I can. Even if they send me, I'll not go back.
We don't want you to. So, hearing that makes me feel like how life can be so unpredictable, so surprising, yet so rewarding at times.
Yeah.
And you never know what's coming next and how it might change your life forever.
Yeah.
And
Fingers crossed.
yeah, fingers
What's next?
crossed.
It's just
And
going
as
up.
the Gen Z says it, touch wood. So it's interesting how the something that might seem small or insignificant at that time might
True.
end up changing everything today.
Yeah, people used to laugh me. They used to say, निकलने नहीं वाली है क्या यहाँ से लेके नहीं जा रहे हैं क्या तेरे को कोई like that time I did not know that yes one day I'll be sitting here at the helm of affairs and speaking this to you.
Truly, it's like we gained a gem in that fossil that you sold. So, well, we all know, moving on to the next question, we all know medicine can be all consuming, but beyond the white coat and the responsibilities, there's always a more personal side to it. So, we really get to know about that personal side of your professors and faculties. And now that I have the chance, I'll ask you, what do you do outside of medicine that brings you joy? Any hobbies, any passion?
Of course, the person when you know after all tiring day, you know one person is waiting for you without any expectation, and that's my dog Augie. I love to go back home every day with he's wagging his tail and you like us together. If even if I'm walking outside talking on a phone, he will wait for me at the doorstep. So that is one thing which takes me back.
So I guess a dog is also
Dog,
a registrar's
music.
best friend.
Yeah, you all come and play is lovely. And
I'm so
music.
excited now. I'm so excited now. So,
Music is also one of
any favorite song that you might want to tell about?
many.
That one song that you hum in your free time, or that one song you go to always.
Many.
Any one that 1-2 lines of it.
फूलों के रंग से दिन की कलम से तुझको लिखी रोज पाती कैसे बताऊं किस किस तरह से हर पल मुझे तू सताती.
Oh my god, I'm truly mesmerized at this moment. I want to stop this podcast and listen to dancing now.
We'll have one more jamming session.
Yeah, we should. I guess it's the sign from our music club. Right now, Monday.
I'll get so many singers in the university are hiding behind the workload at
You
their
are one
chest.
of them, I guess, because that was truly mesmerizing, ma'am.
I'll give you the list. Paper for दूंगी मैं.
Secret list, and
Yeah.
so ready for it. Music club, got new artists coming on. Moving on to the next question is something we all struggle with. While medicine is incredibly rewarding field, it can be mentally and emotionally exhausting at times. Be it the students or the faculty, the stress is something everyone deals with. So, how do you handle stress and keep yourself motivated in such demanding conditions?
So I write down my tasks. And at the end of the day, when I go home, I make sure that everything is ticked yes. There is nothing left for tomorrow. Good music and good sleep. That is how all these three things. And what helps me relieve my stress is when you write down and when you take those things that they are done, it gives me a kind of Shweta, yes, you have done it. अब तेरी life में कोई problem नहीं. On Sundays, I redo my wardrobe again, keep everything as it is properly, just look at it and say, up, there is no stress. Now everything is fine.
Well, once again, how small things can make a bigger
Yeah,
impact.
do it
Yes,
once.
do it, guys.
And you will realize, yeah, how stress relieving it is. Although I'm a OCD kind of a person.
Me too. Me too.
So this will help you.
Yeah, so actually, this is something we can actually incorporate into your life. A very small step that
Yeah.
can make a huge change, I
Yeah.
guess. Throughout this conversation, you have shared so many valuable insights and experiences that I'm sure we all resonate with, and the student listening will remember. Not to forget, this podcast is all about connecting with the people who shape medical education at DMI HER and hearing their stories and wisdom from the oath to the journey in the medical field. As we move towards wrapping up the first episode of this podcast, there is one last question I want to ask you. What legacy or message would you like to leave for the students watching this podcast?
So, students, be kind, be compassionate. Knowledge can fade, but character doesn't. So, that lasts forever. So, you are here for character building and model making.
Well, your words perfectly echo in the mission of this podcast, and that's a great way to leave on a legacy. And for the many episodes to come, this is the one note we can keep into our hearts while we wait. But before we finish, like there's always the best part of the movie waiting in
Oh,
the end.
अभी बाकी है picture.
As we say, picture abhi baki hai. And the best part of the ice cream is in the end. Here comes the best part of this podcast. So before we leave, before we sign off, it's time for a rapid fire.
Oh.
Quick, fun, with questions all about medicine and beyond.
Shoot.
Okay, so should we start?
Yeah, shoot. I love rapid fires.
Tea or coffee?
Of course, coffee.
Okay.
That too, a black coffee without sugar.
Oh, great. I am sure this is
That
something people will-
relates me to your generation.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was saying.
My system is caffeine kind of software. It has.
Actually, this is something now that makes you more relatable to the
Yeah.
people. Okay. Stethoscope or whiteboard? What's more iconic for the doctor?
White coat
Okay.
that hides your inca. Daag अच्छे हैं.
Exactly. Okay.
White coat is more
One
trendy.
word your student used to describe you.
family fair.
That's a new one. That's
Yeah, they come. They can come anytime. Eat my food. Enjoy and go. It's like मैं ये मेरा घर है कि मेरे students का है.
So, student listening, consider this as an invitation to.
Yeah, anytime. You'll find many things to eat.
Okay.
I'll cook you also.
Oh, how so sweet. No more missing home cooked food, I guess.
Anytime.
Favorite medical drama or movie?
Mm, Grey's Anatomy minus the romantic.
Censored part of it.
Yeah.
I guess that's one movie or series every student watches
Love.
before entering into
Love.
medical. Lovely movie. If you had a free day with no hospital or college duties, how would you spend it?
I would sleep today and get up after 2 3 days. So I would love sleeping, just chilling in my bed with a cup of coffee
Okay,
with good music.
so means that's so comforting to know that even behind the official name and the role of registrar is a person who we can relate to. It's not
Yeah.
just us who are the
Yeah.
couch potatoes at times. Even person with so much of workload has that wish to spend a day.
Yes. I love myself. I love being with myself. I don't want anybody. I can just sit with myself for days together.
I guess this is a sign to channel your inner poo energy as well, to love yourself. Okay. A book or a quote that has stayed with you for years.
Live life king size.
Okay.
Charm strike the soul, but merit. Charm strikes the side, but merit wins the soul.
Oh my god.
So you should have both
That's again a very new
to
inspiring.
capture the mind and soul of the patient.
Okay, that's how you relate the both the words of the book quotes and the medical life. And the last one, what emoji best describes you as a teacher? I think nobody will argue on that one. That's completely.
The moment you see that emoji, it should be like you should. My mind and my face should up.
Actually, it does. It actually does. Truly loved hearing your quick takes, ma'am. Such a great way to know a person behind the registrar desk and how interesting it has been, how much I personally enjoyed. So thank you so much again, ma'am, for taking out time and giving us your valuable insights and your embracing us with the experiences of your life. It has been a true delight to have you with us today.
Same here, same here. You have made my day this morning, starting with that podcast. I definitely wish you and your entire team, you're doing wonderful, and you have made my day wonderful. Starting the day with not meetings and deadlines, with such different this thing kickstart.
Yes, the true kickstart to this podcast it was, and it was so lovely to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to The Oath and the Journey. And if you truly enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more conversations with the leaders who inspire us every day. Until next time, this is Khushi Gupta signing off. Stay curious, keep learning, keep growing, and keep healing.